This is another part of my Gotham Knights playlist. Each video I make about Gotham Knights has mostly been just speculation, some containing actual facts and some containing theories. I want to split each video in this series with quality over quantity. I don't want to have a whole bunch of ideas all in one video and not give you content. I try to make each video in this series very interesting so you enjoy it, while also getting most of these ideas out there. Gotham Knights can or may take aspects from previous DLC from the Batman Arkham series to their own. Today, what I want to go over is one of my personal favorite DLCs in Batman Arkham Knight, A Matter of Family. I find it very fitting to compare the style of this DLC to what they can potentially do with Gotham Knights, since this DLC focuses solely on Batgirl and Robin. The narrative and story is very focused and grounded. I personally love Batman Arkham Origins Cold Heart and also Batman Arkham City's Harley Quinn's Revenge. They are some of my favorites, but yet Arkham Origins DLC was developed for Batman, and Batman Harley Quinn's Revenge was also developed by Rocksteady, so it doesn't necessarily apply to the video. WB may undoubtedly take some aspects from this DLC that was structured in such a way where us as fans can enjoy it, while also its environmental design and the game developer's vision can add something to the game to make it more enjoyable in the end. The Batgirl Matter of Family DLC was developed and supposed to take place prior to the events of Batman Arkham Asylum. The opening of the DLC shows a carnival set with the Joker thugs around the perimeter as they have captured Jim Gordon and the rest of the police force. Most of the scene is captured in a cinematic view or viewpoint, and that's noticed a lot through projects made by WB Montreal. To capture the environment that is specifically set for Joker's Funland, this DLC is designed similarly to an entire game, with an entire new environment. This environment in many ways reminds me of Batman Arkham Asylum's focus. Each part of the map is designed or centered to tell a specific story. This DLC did in some ways take aspects from Batman Arkham City's Harley Quinn's Revenge. That DLC also had the police being captured by none other than Harley Quinn, except we see Joker in this way as well. WB Montreal again continues to express the story side of the game, but expressing a lot of its emotion through a lot of cutscenes, which is something Gotham Knights most likely will take from this game, and is something we can most likely see. The level of detail and immaculate game design says a lot about the story itself. Each part of this entire place is designed specifically for Joker. The TV screens and the carnival design says Joker, which is exactly what it is designed to do. Tell us about the character. Even if it's as simple as putting a clown mask and spray painting a wall design in a Joker arc, it still says something about that environment. Gotham Knights will undoubtedly incorporate this type of level design, or even possibly do it better. Each room/scene has Batgirl using her gadgets to distract and or take down thugs. In DLC, the dialogue between Robin and Batgirl also shows signs of her classic comic book counterpart being good with gadgets and technology because of books, which of course she worked in a library. The idea of the carnival theme for Joker is everything about his plan is a game where it's a chase and run between him and the Batman, but except Batman didn't show. We see bits and pieces of his intentions during these story-driven cutscenes to give us a full story instead of a quick side mission. The interactions of each character and dialogue with thugs says a lot about the characters. WB thought it through and made it so that each character fit and also seemed more real and seem more human. For the first segment of the game, Harley's dialogue says enough about her character, and Robin's interaction hints at the eventual relationship.
You know something? I see you more as a bat lady than a bat girl. It's the way you carry yourself.
I think some people are just born annoying.
I don't know. Bat lady. Good work.
Yeah, 200 years ago.
I concur, my lady.
Do you?
I do.
Also, the thug designs are very interesting and unique, and they all don't look exactly the same. Each thug has a different design and also describes the Joker and his theme itself. Also, I do love the dialogue in this DLC. They don't seem like robots repeating the same sentences, but yet they seem as if they're actually humans with feelings and different personalities. WB is great at impacting a lot of story and detail for an Arkham episode that is the longest out of all of them. I do admire the other DLCs and their environmental designs and story development, but as you can tell, these were reduced to 10 and 12 minute DLCs instead of a full 45-minute DLC. You can also tell Rocksteady has a hard time putting a lot of detail into a really long game because Batman Arkham Knight happened to be the longest Batman game, Following it second was Batman Arkham Origins, and they were created by two different game developers. This shows the difference in the story direction and passion for environmental storytelling with games of different lengths. I have full faith that Gotham Knights will incorporate some major level of environmental design and detail. Patrick Redding, the creative director of the game, also had stated he wanted to incorporate enough detail throughout the entire map itself surrounding Gotham's 5 founding families, and the level detailing in each part of the map itself. If this game doesn't show some major level of environmental storytelling or immaculate storytelling, they will be insane, because their previous work gives me full faith on their ability to make a game that gives us some sort of level or problem solving in the DLC. I do enjoy the moments where Batgirl has to use the environmental to her advantage. It also shows us once again on how skilled she is with computers, because in this DLC conveniently everything is electrical to some degree, and also helps and or affects how she can take down a predator room. Each area in the map is riddled with detail and shows the Joker's twisted narcissistic sense of humor in many ways. The thugs' dialogue themselves show how intimidating Joker can be and is during this time frame.
Ducks. Paulie.
Too bad what happened to him.
You're telling me.
Well, you don't try to imitate the Joker's laugh in front of him. That's just suicide.
I think he just did it without thinking. It just slipped out.
That's what you get for making fun of the boss behind his back. How about this?
I got it. Listen.
No, wait for it.
What's so funny?
Nothing.
We was just laughing.
Quit fooling and keep your eyes out for Batgirl.
Also, the duel fighting is incredible in this DLC. This reminds me a lot of Batman Arkham Origins boss fights. Of course, they were the same developers, obviously. But yet, the ideas of a boss fight in this game is extremely well done and detailed. I do love the incorporation of the duel fighting mechanics and a little cinematic touch to it. I believe we may get a similar feeling in Gotham Knights with the dual usage of the heroes, especially when playing with someone else, and that is just going to be awesome. This is something that can very much be achieved, and I noticed that developers are very passionate about this game and may be able to deliver that level of detailing. I do expect this from the game, and if it is in the game, it will leave me utterly disappointed. An example I will use that does describe the simple storytelling is one of my favorite DLCs, Harley Quinn's Revenge. I know I'm quite literally contradicting myself, because I had said at the beginning of the video that this DLC doesn't apply to the point of this video, or maybe it does. WB Montreal had most likely made Gotham Knights because of these DLCs. The entire map we saw in the game trailer was undoubtedly inspired because of the reviews we have given Batman Arkham Knight. This game was most likely in fan service because we never got anything centered around the Bat family. In Batman Arkham Knight, Batman had made his Bat family more incompetent in a sense. This DLC shows the grand partnership of Batman and Robin and the dependency with one another with a simple story. The plot is Batman has went missing in Arkham City for 2 days, 2 weeks prior to the events of the base game. Robin, with the guidance of Oracle, goes back to Arkham City to find out what happened. And the rest of the story consists of a revenge plot against Batman because of how she believes he was the one who killed Joker. With the help of Robin, they save the last of the cops that have been captured. We also see Robin's single-handed ability, and the duality makes it work well with Batman to stop a hostage situation. Things like this can most likely be inspired and or added to Gotham Knights. Intricate puzzles that may and do come with finding and hunting the Court of Owls will play a huge part, or the game won't add up. Also in the game, the city will be full of civilians and will undoubtedly be affected by the events that go on day by day in Gotham City against the villains that cause havoc, instead of a time span of one single night. I do love that this DLC does take place over not one night but a few days, because that little addition makes it all the better. One thing I've noticed Batman Arkham Knight tried to do and failed was cram too many things in a game, and that left it empty in some areas. Instead of it keeping it centered in one specific topic and having the subplots connect in some ways, that would have worked for this game. I also love the fact that in each DLC room we have to solve a crime or puzzle. I find it very fitting for a game to have little tidbits of a problem solved. I and some other YouTubers say that a lot. It helps a great deal when creating a story and story environment. It also isn't very hard to do. In fact, that is why the creative developer has already stated the story will be centered around that one specific area, because Arkham had also had major success with its DLC in its previous games. I do talk a lot about Rocksteady's mistakes, but overall as a company, I have full faith in their capabilities, and I'm a huge fan of their Arkham series trilogy. It isn't easy to make games, let alone Batman games, as detailed as they do and as beloved, and yet they are one of the most beloved game series in the entire globe and also have kept the status quo. But I also find a lot of potential with this smaller game studio, as they have proven to be more efficient in many areas, and it gives me more hope for a great story-based game. Gotham Knights developers again are very serious about adding the detail and immaculate storytelling to the game itself. It's very heavily based around the story with the Court of Owls. As Flora Marty already said, the game's story is much bigger than just the Court of Owls. In my last video, I did speculate on the Order of Saint Dumas, and the video before that I did in a full analysis on the Court of Owls. The one before that I also talked about Gotham's 5 founding families, as did a few other YouTubers. This game may be a very deep detective story from the looks of it, and Patrick Redding was already open about the concerns and questions people had about the game. He answered these questions with no problem at all, and is most certainly in the fan service, which is something we haven't seen from developers in a very long time. They're not trying to leave any questions or concerns out there and have people wondering, but instead they want us to ask them so they can do something to make a game environment in which we can enjoy it. I do have some speculative questions about the game itself, especially surrounding a almost 6-month-old theory now surrounding Batman's death. I've already stated previously as to why I believe he is dead, but is he though? Honestly, if you think about it, why do the promotional logos say capture the night instead of capture the knights? It doesn't exactly add up to me. And also, if Bruce Wayne were really dead, then they wouldn't need to say that unless he is alive and they have already taken him. I feel as though the objective of the game is for the Gotham Knights to capture the Knight, which means save the Batman, because he could undoubtedly be under the court's control, or something like that. Some of these ideas I did get from Slick Moth, which made me think back on that theory, and it actually adds up. But don't take anything I say on that specific topic too seriously, because at the end of the day, these are just theories. I've changed my upload schedule from Sunday to Monday just because I find it easier to get videos out to you. I did skip a week one time, but I do take each video seriously and spend time on them. So if you enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. I want to grow more for you guys, so even if you get to the end of the video, I highly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye guys.